What you need in the building? How's everybody doing? So the most recent news you've learned is that the fight between Roy Jones Jr. and Mike Tyson is no longer an exhibition bout. It is a sanctioned bout by the WBC. And the WBC's offer to have the Ascension belt, aka the Black Lives Matter belt, is one because the fight is sanctioned. And so they're fighting for a title, these two old guys. Now, whether it's on Roy or Mike Tyson's request, this is how this title has come about. And this is because this fight is actually sanctioned by the WBC. And to Floyd's speaking about there being too much belts in boxing, and of course it was couched by the guy who's the announcer in a very negative way, Floyd ranting about too many belts, which in my opinion, that title of Black Lives Matter title is still one in which I believe it is an unnecessary title. And it's also interesting, and I find very interesting that the fight is going to be not an exhibition fight anymore. It is now a full-fledged fight. Now, let me tell you this. So it goes on both guys' record. This is a 51-year-old and a 54-year-old. They're fighting. There's nothing wrong with it being sanctioned, particularly. But one of the things I do realize is the fight started off as an exhibition. You remember it was supposed to be an exhibition bout, and now it's an official bout. I believe that happened because they couldn't do the fight without it being sanctioned and being treated as an actual fight. They passed their physicals, and they did well passing their physicals. So now they have what apparently is a sanctioned bout by the WBC. Remember, the WBC was speaking on the issue a time before about they were speaking a lot on this issue. What we didn't know was apparently they were going to be one of the parties that was sanctioning this bout. So this is an actual bout, an actual fight. And they have this manufactured belt that they're going to have for this actual fight. Do I think that Mauricio Suleiman, in light of that and that new information, is necessarily doing something wrong by putting up a BLM belt? I still think he's bringing in too many belts into the fight game. Roy is happy that they got a belt, and he was trying to defend it vociferously with Mike Tyson. But I don't agree with either of them. I still think that this is, first of all, it should never have gone to the point where it's a sanctioned bout, as we all know. It shouldn't have been a sanctioned fight. And I think a lot of people are of the opinion that what these guys are actually doing is entering into the actual fray of boxing now. They're in the pro game. This is going to be a pro game fight against two, guys who are pretty much retired fighters. So what they have actually done is activated their careers, and they're now players in the actual active boxing game. A guy like Roy Jones Jr., it was supposed to be a one-off event for him. It's turning into something in which he's actually come out of retirement and is actually in the pro game now, fighting a pro fight. So apparently Mike Tyson's very serious about it being not just a one-off event, but an actual event. See, what this leads to with Legends Only is this. Now the question is, are these retired guys going to actually be facing and doing coming out of retirement and fighting active fights? And does this mean that these guys are going to actually challenge the actual pros in the pro game? Or is this something where retired guys through exhibitions are going to be facing each other? Well, we've got our answer. It's going to be something in which these retired guys are actually going to try to re-enter the pro game, do something with themselves. I don't know if that's a good idea. And the precedent here, I don't know if that's a good idea either. So quite frankly, that's where it gets dangerous. Now, if they're facing pro guys who are retired, There's still a certain degree of danger to that because when you enter the program, those fights go on your record and it opens you up to be targeted by other guys in the program. So there's no separation, you know. So where this Legends Only is going, it's now going down a dangerous path. It's going down a path where old guys, once they get their wins, they're going to be under the illusion that they can do something with these younger guys. And just the way our nature is, and just the way how the sport of boxing is, unless a guy gets beaten out of the game or he gets killed, um, it can be disastrous. Notation. Somebody's gonna cross the line. It's okay for these two old guys to face each other, and they are old guys. Okay, as much as I got mad respect for both of them, they're old guys. Okay, Roy does not look like the young Roy. Mike Tyson doesn't look like the 20-year-old Mike Tyson. Okay, I don't care what anybody says. They're two old guys that are going to go at it. I'm an old guy. Okay, I'm not even trying to. This sports, as much as everybody here knows, we must have a sense of reality in ourselves. No matter how you feel, you ain't gonna function like when you were younger. You might be able to run longer distances. You might be able to feel even healthier, but the body mechanics is just not the same as when you're younger. I don't care what kind of therapy you use on your body, your range of motion is never going to be the same as when you were younger. Just not going to happen because the tissue, the body parts, they're still old. They still have wear and tear in them. The genetic material, the genetic information is one in which you just add longer wear and tear. No matter if you replace the parts, you're still going to have long wear and tear. You can preserve the machine, but you cannot completely rebuild it. It's just not possible. So, as a result of that, these older guys who look, I mean, they look great for older guys. Um, when the winner wins this fight, because now we got winners. Now we got referee. Now we got judges. Okay. Now we're going to have a winner. Now, if it was an exhibition fight, in the pure sense of exhibition, you could have a winner by knockout. But you don't have to have people coming in the same weight. You don't have to have people winning by points. None of that in an exhibition fight. It was supposed to be two guys showcasing their skills. Now it's become a full-fledged fight, a real boxing fight, a real prize fight, a real boxing match. And apparently the prize at the end of that is a belt that doesn't need to be there. These guys are raising things for charity, yes, but you know, and the belt that is being there flies in the face of that um, everything that real Black lives um, stand for, and the Black lives in boxing who stand for that are not getting their just due. So I'm not changing my point of view on the WBC using too many belts and their irrelevancy with respect to the belts. I really couldn't give a fuck what Roy Jones Jr. or Mike Tyson says. I think that Floyd Mayweather is absolutely correct in that respect, especially concerning the WBC. And whether those two guys endorse it or not because they're big figures and they want to be coon ass motherfuckers, that's their problem. But in my opinion, that is an irrelevant belt. And these two guys, they're old as fuck. They got name brands on them. And I'm still kind of enthused to see it, even though when I watched the interviews, you know, it was very awkward moments in them. But these old guys are going to duke it out. Okay? And it should be an exciting fight. It's not something you shouldn't still not tune into. Um, but at the end of the day, it's going to be a good fight. Okay? I think Roy's going to bring it. I think it's going to go to decision. That's my personal opinion at this point in time. I think Roy has very high possibility of getting the decision, but Tyson, you never know. He could decision Roy as well. We just never know how. But Mike Tyson's trying to bring back the old Mike Tyson. He's trying to be as intense as possible. Um, but at the end of the day, may the best man win. It's an exciting fight, but it's not as exciting as the current fights in boxing. Gervonta Tank Davis versus Leo Santa Cruz got a hell of a lot of buzz. But still, it's a good matchup. You got Jake Paul versus Nate Robinson, and you also got um, Badu Jack versus a gentleman who's 13-0. He's an old guy as well. It's up in age. He kind of fights in a club fighting style, in a kind of Arturo Gatti like style, where he swings his right hand. He has a pretty good right hand. He stopped some people with his right hand. Not the biggest power puncher, but he's gonna be amped. He's gonna be ready to face Badu Jack. He has a weird narrative that even Badu Jack was like laughing at because his levels in the sport of boxing. The guy is tough. He thinks he's tough as nails, and he thinks his toughness is going to carry him through in the fight. Yeah, and he feels he studied Badu Jack, and he's talking a big game. We'll see. I mean, he's talking a big game. We'll see what happens, right? He's talking about Badu Jack hasn't had a win in such a long time, between 3 or 4 fights or something. But what he doesn't understand is Badu Jack's not gotten a win because he's been robbed a couple times, and just the unfortunate incident with Marcus Brown. You know what I mean? But it is what it is. Um, Badu Jack's got his mad stripes, and I mean, I wish the guy. I think his name is Black something, Black something. Um, but I'm just gonna say straight off the bat, this he's no match for Badu, and Badu's gonna take him out of there. He's gonna stop him. So he keep on running his mouth. Badu's definitely not gonna show him something, right? I know Badu's solid. I mean, Badu has gotten knocked out in the first round by a guy who's not really well known. So maybe this guy can look at that blueprint and try that. But given otherwise than that, I think it's just a problem. I mean, Badu's gonna just beat this kid. Badu's on the undercard of Roy Jones Jr. versus Mike Tyson. So, quite frankly, I still stand by what I say about there to be too many belts in boxing. And again, the WBC just be pushed. I mean, they are sanctioning the fight, so they put up this Black Lives Matter belt, or Ascension belt as they call it, which who gives a fuck about that belt? Nobody gives a fuck about that. What people care about is Roy Jones Jr. facing Mike Tyson. That's what they care about. They didn't need no fucking belt, okay? And that's the thing, because what this does, and it's two old motherfuckers, man. They old guys, you know. But maybe it's their suggestion, whack as hell as it is. It could be their suggestion. Oh, whether you could make a Black Lives Matter belt because Black Lives Matter. Nah, like no. um, of course, it doesn't really matter for us. It matters for them. Uh, Roy and Mike Tyson is a bad idea, though. It was a bad idea. Mike Tyson must have been smoking weed at the point in time. It was like, you know what? Let's have a Black Lives Matter belt. Yeah, that's a good idea. That was not a good idea. Okay. Nonetheless, I do sport this fight. I do think you guys should check it out on pay-per-view. I think you guys should still buy it if you can. If you can't, well, you just wait for it to come out and then you'll find out what happened. But at the end of the day, it's still a fight because of these guys' names, particularly Mike Tyson's name. Mike Tyson's the guy carrying this, and still think a lot of people are. I think a lot of people feel that Mike Tyson's just going to mow over Roy, which I don't believe that. I don't believe that's going to happen. But I do believe it's going to be a good fight, and I think it's going to be one when Mike Tyson showcases what Mike Tyson does. Roy does showcases what he does, and may the best man win. I don't know who will actually win. I can't really put my finger on it. Just as I really put my finger on who will actually win between Leo Santa Cruz and Tank Davis, which I'll talk about in the next video. So tune in for that. All right. I've been sleeping all this time. I just woke up at 12 o'clock in the morning. I had an interesting dream. And so I decided, hey, let me shoot this video because this is what I was going to actually shoot about. But yeah, that Black Lives Matter belt and all this other thing it's a corny idea. I don't think it's a good idea. I don't think it's a relevant idea, but nonetheless, now we know why. The WBC actually sanctioning this bout, Marisa Suleiman. They're sanctioning it, even though they were not for it at first. The guys passed all their tests and everything, and so they offer a belt at the end of it because these are two old guys who are legends and want to fight for a belt. I personally think that belt is irrelevant to this fight. I think they could have had a trophy or something at the end of it. Kind of like what Julio Cesar Chavez and I think Julio Cesar Chavez and outside of the WBC belt. I think they fought for a belt as well. But me personally, I think that those fights shouldn't be sanctioned fights. But it doesn't really matter in this case. I'll tell you why I think it shouldn't be sanctioned. Because you want to keep these retired guys retired. You don't want them going back into the pro game. You're encouraging them to get themselves hurt bad because they're going to, after they win this fight and they feel they're so young, they're going to try and actually challenge a pro fighter. Maybe one who's not so, and if they win that fight, they're going to be under the illusion that they can go up to the elite level and challenge these elite fighters. And somebody going to hurt them real bad. They're going to get dusted real bad. I mean, they're going to get hurt real bad. Mike Tyson, he going to get hurt real bad if he goes into the pros and actually faces these young pro fighters. He's going to get beat up very, very badly. Okay. And then he can keep his ass out of the pro game. Okay. Mike Tyson thinks he brings to the table certain things. And for some reason, this man thinks he's young. You're going to get your ass beat so bad, you will wish you never thought about the idea again. So this pro game, I don't think anyway, I ain't got nothing to say to Mike Tyson. And remember, Roy's a smaller guy. So even if Mike Tyson was to knock out Roy, what does that mean? Roy's a smaller guy. Right? Let's just go to that extreme where everybody believes Mike Tyson's going to knock out Roy, which I don't believe that at all. He's the smaller guy. Now, if Roy beats Mike Tyson, that's going to stimulate Roy to want to go for the cruiserweight title that he always been pushing for. And Roy need to calm his ass down and go back into retirement. The only guy he can go ahead and face is another old guy like him, like Bernard Hopkins. How old is Bernard now? He retired since 2017. He's 53. Bernard's 53. Right? So if Roy has anybody else he wants to settle the score with, is Bernard, and get out the fucking game. Get out the game. Get out the fucking game. What is wrong with you? You left the game the first time. Leave the fucking game. Especially the pro game. You all supposed to be retired. If y'all want to go at it in exhibitions, that's cool. But don't fuck around and be in the game trying to fight real motherfucking fighters out here. You all gonna get hurt real fucking bad. It's one thing to fight throwbacks. Throwback fights are cool. It don't matter if you pro or what. I don't care. Both of y'all old, right? Both of y'all old as fuck. So it doesn't really matter. But saying you're going to go after young, strong, hungry fighters, it just don't make no sense. It don't make no damn sense. None of y'all as old as George Foreman. George Foreman's still an old guy, but it was what, 43, 42, 41? Y'all's 50-something. And don't listen. I don't care how you feel. I don't care how you look. It's not the fucking same. I'm 45 years old going into the pro game, okay? I am very much aware. If I get hit with shots that these young cats be getting hit with, I'm going to get killed. Okay, I'm gonna get killed. It's a serious thing. This boxing game. That's why I'm not just jumping into the pros. I'm not just jumping into the amateurs. You hear me say I'm training and stuff. I'm not just trying to go in there and mix it up. I'm not fucking 20 years old. My rejuvenation of my body and my skin and my body and everything else and my health, it just don't have. And I'm in a precarious position because I'm still not 100% recovered from the illness I had. So I'm not just going to run in there and just do any old thing. It doesn't matter how good I feel. It doesn't matter how well I train. It doesn't matter how fit my body is. I understand these things, right? You're putting yourself in tremendous danger in a sport where it's like COVID. COVID, if you know you're at risk section of the population, you know you have a disease or you know you are old. Why the hell would you try and put yourself in harm's way? Why would you go looking to be in crowds and all kinds of shit to get COVID? You know, older people just as susceptible to diseases in a much worse way than younger people. So why would I put myself in that position? Even though I'm 100% healthy, in the blink of an eye, I could be not. You know what I mean? So this is a sanction bout. There's nothing we can do about it. It's sanctioned. The thing about it is, I don't really have a problem with that because it being sanctioned um, by two old guys who passed their physicals and everything. Okay, it's sanctioned. It's two old guys. It's two guys around the same age facing each other. I don't have a problem with it. The problem I have with the sanctioning part is one of those guys, when they win, is going to get under the illusion that his dumb ass could tango with younger guys. At some point in time, if that old guy keeps on winning against his contemporaries, he's going to be under the illusion that he could face one of those young guys. And if he passes the physical, he might get to face one of those young guys. And here's the thing about it. There's a difference. There's a difference, motherfuckers, with being young and being old. It's not so much, you know, your knowledge and your savvy, right? But your physical capabilities are not the same. It's just not the fucking same. And your powers of regeneration are not the same. Why that's dangerous is because let's say you get really severely hurt in a fight at 54 years old. Yes, you still move like you're young, but when you get hit, when that infliction of damage happens to you, your recoup time is not the same. Unless you're using steroids or something to boost that. And even then, it's still not the same. With all those supplementation you give to your body, it will never be the same as a prime person. Never. You pump yourself full of chemicals, it doesn't make a difference. Right? So your elasticity won't be the same. Your flexibility won't be the same. Your recuperation's not going to be the same. Of course, you don't need that when you're older because you're a lot smarter, so you can work with what you have. But the point is, these older guys need to understand that. The younger guys, they got all that vital energy. They got all that power, that strength, that drive, that hunger, that everything. Older guys, as much as Mike Tyson's talking about the hunger and all of that and all, he old guy. He comfortable. He's comfortable. These younger guys are not comfortable. Mike don't have to do boxing. Roy don't have to do boxing. They doing it because they happy and starving to just fight, right? That's it. But they still got comfort in the back of their mind. But young, hungry lions, they don't got no fucking comfort. They only know one direction, it's just forward. Tyson Fury, he's a young, hungry lion. He's 30-something years old, but he's still a young, hungry lion. He's still starving to be great. He still got that hunger in him, man. He ain't turning back. These guys been training for years. So that's why this is the problem I see with this fight. But we looking steps down the road. We're playing chess. So we will see how it pans out. Again, I don't really have a problem with being sanctioned because they basically was going to fight anyway. All right. So it not being an exhibition is okay. But here's the problem. Tyson's talking all this talk about legends only. My problem is them coming back into the pro game. They just stepped into the pro game. And all's fair after that. You decide you're gonna step into the lion's den with these young hungry lions. You can't turn back. And you are an old ass lion. You got some repairs on you, but you are old ass lion. That's from Mike Tyson and Roy Jones. Y'all old as fuck. If y'all feel y'all gonna deal with these youngins because you feel you got a little strategy and something, they gonna beat the shit out of you. They gonna beat the shit. They gonna fuck you up. So don't play that game. You messing with each other, that's cool. You messing with each other, that's cool. Go get your little BLM belt, whatever. But don't fuck with these young guys. They will fuck you up. I don't care which one. It could be Anthony Joshua, he gonna fuck you up. It could be Tyson Fury, he gonna fuck you up. If Deontay Wilder, he gonna fuck you up. Andy Ruiz, they gonna fuck you up. All right, you can mess with Evander Holyfield. You can mess with Bernard Hopkins. Y'all can fuck around with any one of them guys of your era and your time. Fights you, but you call yourselves the seniors league. Let the WBC have a seniors league for your ass, and y'all can be seniors pros if y'all want to do the pro thing. You know, like how they had the seniors golf tournament and shit like that. Have y'all have a seniors tournament. Call yourselves legends only if you want to do it like that, right? But y'all just entered the fucking pro game. You just decided to come out of your little lake, out of your little pond. Understand what you just did, and you're putting yourself into harm's way. You're now asking, you going into the sea, into the shark infested seas, saying you's a fucking whale and the sharks won't fuck with you. Hey, they killer whales out in there. They real motherfuckers out there who will fuck you the hell up. So understand that. Y'all old. Don't fuck with these young cats. I don't care what Mike Tyson said. He don't intimidate none of them young cats. They will kill him in that ring. And then Deontay Wilder already said he want to catch a body anyway. They're going to kill you in that ring. Okay? They don't fuck around. And for Roy Jones Jr., I think I might still go for a cruiserweight title. Listen, motherfucker. Listen. You got knocked the fuck out by a guy who was, what was the guy's name? He wasn't even one of the top guys. You got knocked out so many times by some of these motherfuckers, Danny Green, etc. It's a different ball game. You might survive Mike Tyson. You might be able to outbox him. Do not get yourself under any fucking illusion that these cruiserweights out there are not going to destroy. Dorticos would kill you. Dorticos will kill you. You saw what he did to Tabiti, and he was getting outboxed. He will kill you. Okay? Them cruiserweights, listen, there's a difference between the highest level. I don't give a fuck what experience you got. There's a difference between the highest elite level today and the shit you doing now. And you old as fuck. I'm gonna say it again. Lest any kind of reality goes into these guys' heads after whoever wins or whoever draws or they got a good fight, if at all they think they can jump into this fucking sea where there are sharks everywhere, where there are killer whales everywhere, and feel that they can somehow mix it up. You was in a lake. You motherfuckers was in a lake when it was exhibition. That's exhibition, motherfucker. Even Floyd understands this game. I don't care how good you feel. It's totally different when you decide to step in with these youngins, with these new breeds. You want to step in there and you want to show them something? Okay, go ahead and show them something. They will fuck you up. You ain't no fucking Archie Moore, okay? You ain't no fucking Archie Moore. I was listening to my man, Coach Eric Bradley. Archie Moore had a great defense. That's why he survived. Even when he got knocked out, he survived them guys. This is different. This is different. These cats will light you up, and you will not be able to walk after that. You won't be able to talk after that. All right, they are not the same. And I love Roy. I love what Roy doing. I see the power he generating off his thing, and he can teach a guy or two about that. But let's not get it twisted. Let's not get it twisted. If Roy goes in the ring against any of them cruiserweights, all that, you gonna get fucked up, fuck up. That's what you gonna get. Sorry about the F bombs, people. But tonight, I just gotta be real. They will fuck you up real bad. Real bad. You gonna get fucked up. So be careful what the fuck you do after this fight. That's all I gotta say about that. You wanna mess around with people your era and your time? Sure. You had your time. You had your era. That goes for Mike Tyson and Roy Jones Jr. All pushing legends only. Sure, push that by all means. But do understand, you just stepped into a territory, dangerous waters, especially in the heavyweight division right now. You stepped into dangerous waters. Those heavyweights will look at you hungry. They'll look at you like food. They ready to eat your ass. Just get them with opportunity so they can make a name off of you. And they don't give a fuck. If they kill you in the ring, so what? They don't give a fuck. And somebody got to protect these legends. So WBC, y'all was worried about them and all this shit. They passed the physicals. They look great. Looking great is one thing. Getting fucked up is another thing. You better protect your legends, okay? Because these guys, they have aspirations. Especially Mike Tyson, he has aspirations to go into the program, and he can't even get past. He can't even get past Holyfield right now. If Holyfield trade right now and he face Mike Tyson, he's not gonna get past Holyfield. And Evander always in good shape. So Mike Tyson need to calm his ass down. Okay, he living off of hype, and it's cool. All right, you living off of hype. You living off of hype. And Roy know he could beat Mike Tyson. He knows that. Mike Tyson been fighting for how many years? 0 since the last time. Mike Tyson, a decade and 5 to 6 years. He ain't fought. Let's not fool ourselves. So he gonna get in shape and face a Roy that been fighting all the time. That's why Roy picked the fight. And Roy's getting very, very sharp. And everybody living off the Mike Tyson hype. Okay. Okay. I just listen. It'll be a great fight for Roy. But at the end of the day, I know Roy's dead serious now. Roy's changed modes. Okay, I can see that. But at the end of the day, Roy and Mike, y'all just stepped into a different territory by making this a sanctioned bout. Understand what you just did, because the next step, y'all better retire or some shit. Okay, both of y'all don't know how to resist staying retired, and y'all talking about y'all's gods and shit. Well, guess what? God about to get his ass kicked if y'all proceed to get into the ring with one of these youngins. They're gonna kill you. They will kill you. I guarantee you that. Don't be fucking with them youngins. Them youngins will mess you up in so many different ways. You gonna come out of that ring not the same that you came in. They might be wheeling you out on a take you out on a one of them gurneys, carrying you to the hospital because you can't walk no more. Y'all is old ass men. I don't care to talk. Y'all can talk how much you want. You old, and I know this. I know what we're gonna see. We're not gonna see Young Buck Roy and Young Buck Tyson fight. No, I know that. Okay. I love that they pulling this off for the older guys. Respect to them. But y'all doing something. I hope y'all know where y'all going with this. And Mike Tyson, you better not get caught up in your ego. You know, don't get caught up in that shit. We talking all that Brooklyn, like Zab Judah say. He talking all that Brooklyn Brooklyn bullshit. He on his Brooklyn bullshit. Yeah, you could talk your Brooklyn bullshit, but just remember this, Mike Tyson. You ain't the baddest man on the planet. These youngins will kill you. They will kill you. Ride the hype. Be a good businessman. Do your thing. But them youngins will kill you. You better not get your ass up in that ring against them youngins. They will kill you. Okay? Ain't nobody afraid of Mike Tyson. Okay? Them days is long since gone. That psychology is long since gone. All right? And as for Roy, well, don't get in the ring with any of those cruiserweights. They gonna kill you. Okay? You're gonna be chinny in that respect because they know your number, they know what to do. I don't know if Mike knows your number and he knows what to do. But Roy, you need to chill. With Mike is, you might be able to handle Mike, but you ain't gonna be able to handle them youngins. All right? And you talking about Dorticos, you talking about what's the other guy's name? Ain't only two of them right now who's champions at the top level. And your hope and dream, you gotta wait for the stars to line for some weak champion to get up in there and maybe you have a chance. He still might knock your ass out, okay? Because they're young. Okay, Macronelli is the guy's name. Enzo Macronelli. He knocked your ass out. Enzo Macronelli ain't no top tier fucking cruiserweight. I mean, you was doing a little something with him, but he's not a top tier cruiserweight. He's not. So if he was doing that to you, what the hell you think talking about getting a cruiserweight title for? Why? Fighting your contemporary is one thing. Fighting a guy that used to be around in your time. Okay. He's rejuvenated now. He's got enthusiasm to make some money and to start off Legends only and to fight in Legends only. That sounds great. The difference is it's not pro. Y'all just went pro. Y'all just went pro with that shit. And y'all not the hottest thing out there right now. Y'all just went pro with that shit. And I wish y'all nothing but the best. But boxing about to heat up. But y'all just went pro with that shit. You know what I mean? Y'all just entered a territory you should not enter as retired guys. It's one thing if you keep Legends only as exhibitions. It's another thing when you keep Legends only as pros. WBC or one of these sanctioning bodies needs to separate y'all from the younger cats. Have pro seniors or something. Open up a whole new category for you guys so you guys can stay in your lane and not fuck with these young guys. Because these young guys gonna watch at you hungry. They would boop, 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 Tyson on our radar. Boop, 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 Roy on our radar. They're gonna look at you like food. Cause they know one thing and one thing very surely. If you look good in that fight, oh, you food. You suddenly became food on the table. Anthony Joshua, Tyson Fury, they're gonna be all mincing their hands like, yeah, okay. They're gonna be happy. They're gonna look at you like food. Cause you 54 years old and you 51 years old. If y'all are foolish enough to go tangle with them young guys, I don't care how you look, I don't care what you say, I don't care what shape you in. They know Father Time is undefeated. And it's fuck up season. They don't even have to care. They don't have to care how they deal with you. Because your old ass, they're gonna take your old ass to the limit. They will test your old ass to the ultimate limit because they got the youth. They just got the youth. And a lot of them who are world champions right now, they got the experience too. They know they can run your ass out. They know you old. No matter what. You replace the tires, you replace it on the car, you replace the engine on the car, you replace the body parts on the car. Guess what? The car's still fucking old though. So I'm gonna take my Mack truck and I'm gonna ram it. And we see how long it'll last. That's what the fuck these young guns gonna do. They're gonna come in with headlights and everything to slam their Mack truck into you and test that fucking limits of that car. If they get smashed in half, they smash it in half. They don't give a fuck because you old. And when you old, what do we do with the old dog? We beat his ass out. Beat his ass out. We're gonna beat him, beat him, beat him, beat him, beat him. Let's see how you can last. He's smart, but we're gonna beat the shit out of him because we younger. We're gonna beat him up. So that's what they're gonna do. They're gonna test you to the max. All right? They're gonna beat the shit out of you. So do not take this pro game like if it's some kind of fucking joke and you think it's some part of your circus act. Okay? As an exhibition, y'all was safe. As a pro, you're not safe out there. Whoever wins, they're gonna get called out. And they better not answer the call. And Roy's a guy, he liked to answer calls. He loved to answer the call. He loved to show. And of course, Mike Tyson, for that paycheck, oh fuck yeah, he gonna answer the call. Sometimes a paycheck ain't worth it. Sometimes that fucking your health is valuable more than your paycheck. Both of you is old fogies from the past. And for old guys, y'all gonna put on a hell of a performance. I'm gonna look at it. Julio Cesar Chavez, for all his old age, he knows not to get his old ass back in that ring and face any of them young, strong super lightweights or welterweights. He gonna fight Jorge. I say he's much smaller than him anyway. He don't mind duking it out with Jorge. I say, but he's smart enough to understand. I'm not fucking with them youngers. I'm not fucking with them youngins. Them young gun stunners. All right, Calvin Ford and Tank, young gun stunner. So Tank and Leo's not a young gun stunner, but experienced, crafty, veteran, and still young enough to be a good solid fighter. But he being at the top elite level, the top elite level, got great defense, etc. Been doing the game for a while. Now a lot of people will say, well, but these guys got so much experience. It's just like muscle memory, and they come back into the game. It's not the same. It's not the same, Ninja. You might understand the game inside out. There's a reason why Floyd ain't coming back. He's not coming back. He's not coming back. And if his dumb ass come back, I hope somebody beat his ass into the ground. Beat him out the game. He's smart enough to understand that. He not fucking with Errol Spence. He's not fucking with Terrence Crawford. You know why he ain't fucking with them guys? Because those guys, they got, not only do they have youth, they have experience too. And they training every day. He's not training on the level that them training. He's done with that level. He don't train at that level anymore. He don't put his body through that kind of stuff anymore. And don't tell me, unless you're a delusional person, oh, he can come back and beat those guys. Fuck out of here. I don't believe that. Not for 1 second. He's gonna get his ass beat. Pacquiao included. Now, if you're doing an exhibition with Pacquiao where he don't have to make weight and all of that shit, and he could come in how he wants, still, Pacquiao might have the edge on him in the exhibition, depending on what are the rules of the exhibition. It depends. But still, in an exhibition, it's not the same as a real fight because the rules are according to what you want it to be. I say all of this just to let you guys know it's dangerous when you start to go into the pro game again. Basically, these two guys are unretired. They came out of retirement to fight this pro fight. You see what I'm saying? You open yourself to these opponents. And you're 54 and 51. You're out of your fucking mind to do that. But hey, all I'm saying is I'm not mad at it being a sanctioned bout, an actual pro bout. Not mad at it particularly. Lots of fighters have done that in the past. Duran, all these guys, they fought pro bouts. Some guys came out of retirement and fought pro bouts against their contemporaries. There's nothing wrong with that. If you stay with those guys, these guys are such big names, And Roy always had the desire and even expressed it at a certain point in time. Maybe I'll go back and face somebody at cruiserweight to see if I can get a title there. He actually said that. He verbalized it. All right. And Mike Tyson, I've been hearing talk that he's looking to try and get up to the highest level against the highest level fighters and try to get a world title. And that kind of talk, I will not entertain. Reality is different to fiction. I don't care how much you believe in yourself. I don't give a fuck. Okay. There is just something called reality. Okay. And you have to come to face it that you're 54 and you're 51. By the time this fight is over, you're going to be 55 and the other guy's going to be 52. Okay. And numbers do mean something in the sport of boxing. People say age is but a number. No, age is not but a number. Okay. Age is not but a number. Okay. Wear and tear on the body is real. You can rejuvenate the body. You can arrest a lot of the wear and tear. You can tune up the old car and make sure it's running really well. You can replace parts, but make no mistake. Even if you replaced all the parts on the car, you got to keep the chassis. That chassis be going through some shit, and no matter how much you enforce it, no matter how much you try to hold it together, that chassis is still going to be there. Now, if you replace the chassis, you replace the car. We all know this. You can replace almost everything on the car: the doors, the windows, inside, the interior, the engine. You can replace everything. But what makes the car still the car and the model is the chassis. And that's something you're not going to be replacing. So you can do gene therapy, you can do all the chiropractic shit, you can do flexibility studies, you can eat healthy and all that bullshit. Motherfucker, you can still 54 years old. Keep that in the back of your mind. You're going to perform well for 54 years old. You're going to perform well for 51 years old or 52 years old, but you're going to be that age. Don't fuck around and feel you can mess around with a 20-something year old or 30-something year old. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. And these 30-something-year-olds, they're taking care of their bodies too. So they're like teenage guys going in there with a lot of experience and well-developed people, full-grown men against you. You're not going to stand with them. They're going to push you to your physical limit and they're going to destroy you. That ring in a stretcher or something. So I hope these gentlemen understand by doing this sanction bout, they are sending a message to the younger cats out there, the young, hungry younger cats out there. And I know you guys, you old guys, have skills and abilities that these younger cats don't have. Don't get it. Sugar Ray Leonard had skills and abilities too. Terry Norris tore that ass up. Okay? This is a totally different era, totally different time. And these motherfuckers feel that they bad and they believe in the hype and they buying into the shit and they work. Okay. It's okay for you to face your contemporaries. I always said that. Whether it's pro or exhibition, I don't give a fuck. Y'all the same age. Y'all the playing field's equal. So whatever the fuck y'all want to do, do. But the thing that's dangerous is when you decide to veer out of there and go into a whole new era. Manny Pacquiao did it, but Manny Pacquiao was fighting all the time at the highest level. And ain't none of y'all like Manny Pacquiao anyway. None of y'all like Manny Pacquiao. Okay? And even so, Manny Pacquiao need to get his ass out of the game. Clearly, he needs to get his ass out of the game. Right? He got about 1 or 2 more fights left, if so much. But he needs to get out of the game. And train people. Teach them. Stay around the game. Stay around the game. Have that same passion and zeal poured into the game. But at the end of the day, Manny fucking Pacquiao need to get out of the game. And if he doesn't do it soon enough, a fighter is going to beat his ass out the game. He's going to get beat bad out the game. That's how boxing works. right? Bernard Hopkins could have done so much. But his old ass at 51 got beat the fuck out the game by Joe Smith Jr. Big, strong, reasonably skilled light heavyweight. Got beat out the game. All right. So let these guys know. I don't care how young you feel. And some of these guys in. Okay. Now I'm glad this fight is coming off. Because for old fogies like myself, it gives me encouragement. But I ain't an asshole. I'm not going to go into the game at 45, 46, 47 years of age, go into this pro game or go into the amateur game if I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. Because I can get killed in there. That's how serious it is. You have to take it fucking serious. Especially if you're an old guy. You have to take this sport serious. Roy said he don't mind. He don't, if he goes down and he dies in the ring, he dies in the ring. Yeah, but you taking precautions about that. You're not going in there to lay down. You're not going in there to get killed. You have just as much opportunity with your hands. And you have a lot of experience and skill. I don't have that shit. So when I take my time and I'm deciding I'm going to get into the boxing game on my time, and everybody's like, why you going to fight a 4-5? Why you fight an amateur fight? Why you just jump in there, you motherfucker? You think I'm a stupid ass motherfucker? You think I'm just going to just jump into the game? I understand what's happening with my body. I understand how it is. You think I'm just going to jump into boxing just like that? Fuck out of here. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. You don't just rush into shit and then get squashed or get damaged so bad. It doesn't matter how I look. I might look great on mitts. I might look great in sparring. That shit don't mean nothing when you go into an actual pro fight. In a club with these wild ass motherfuckers. We ain't throwing punches like how you normally, they like Marcus Maidana. They throw punches in weird angles. What the fuck you gonna do then? So, no. And that's another thing people don't know. And to come up, you see all kinds of crazy shit. Nobody talk about that. At the highest level, you know this fighter and you know what he brings to the table. But fuck, in the beginning, you don't know what the motherfucker gonna bring to the table. You don't know what he's gonna do. Anything could happen in that ring. He could tackle you, he could headbutt you, he could elbow you. You don't know what the fuck you facing. That's why I'm not just gonna jump into boxing like that in a pro game or amateur game. Some crazy ass motherfucker who accidentally kills me or breaks my jaw or some shit like that. You don't play boxing like that. You don't play boxing. So when I hear a lot of people talk about, well, you said this for 4 years now. Yeah, motherfucker, I said it for 4 years. So, um, I'm saying all of this to say, no matter what happens with me, and no matter what happens in sparring, because I don't care what happens. I care what happens in sparring, but I don't care what happens to me in sparring. I don't care about that. If I get punched up in the face, I get punched up in the face. But I'm learning. It's a learning experience. But no matter what happens in sparring, what happens there, I even know in the back of my mind, I ain't no young spring chicken. And even if I can run with these young boys, I ain't no young spring chicken. I'm very much aware of that because all the injuries and disease and stuff. One day you feeling fine, next day you're not feeling well. Okay, I know how it goes. And these older guys, they should know it as well. Okay, so that's all I got to say about that. The fucking belt, I don't give a fuck about the belt. I don't care about the belt. Those guys will care about the belt, but me, I'm not watching the fight to see them get a belt. I don't give a fuck. And if they love their belt and that they be such coon ass niggas to just dump on the whole black culture and the whole black people with this Black Lives Matter belt, which to me is a mockery of the situation, seeing the WBC ain't looking out for black fighters like that. Right? They threw Devin Haney under the bus, right? And even the other boxing organization is talking about they did a shit to Franchon Cruz and she still found her way. They demonized and everything. They never sent an apology to her or anything, right? They just gave her the belt, right? Black Lives Matter my ass. So they not investigating Deontay Wilder's situation, even though he got his ass beat by Tyson Fury. They're not investigating. They endorsed the fucking gloves that Tyson Fury had actually. Okay. So them now doing this Black Lives Matter belt is a fly in the face with that shit. Just because what Roy and Tyson's fighting Black Lives Matter, get the fuck out of here. You know what I mean? So that's how I feel about that. And I don't change my opinion. Not because it's Mike Tyson and Roy Jones Jr. and I'm looking forward to their fight, means that I'm not gonna speak my piece. I'm gonna hold to what I said. I still maintain what I say. Right? If they want to fight for that trophy, fine. But at the end of the day, nobody gives a fuck about that. It's not the trophy that they fought for. What matters is that they fought each other and who won and who lost. The ultimate trophy in boxing, and I think that Jaleel Hackett gets it. I think that hopefully Teofimo Lopez gets it. And Teofimo Lopez, this is what I got to say to you, brother. I hope you push for that fucking Devin Haney fight. In spite of what Bahram and all these other guys say, give me fucking Devin Haney. Because you understand something, Tio. What makes legends is the guys they face and the guys they beat. That's what makes fucking legends. Okay? The belt, the straps, and all of that, they change with time. The rules of the game change with time. But the one thing that don't change with time is the great opponents that you have out there. And Devin Haney's one. It's up to Teofimo Lopez, because the business of boxing is a grimy one. But your best competitor right now, which will make you undisputed, is Devin Haney. And for Ryan Garcia, I'm glad you had that step-up fight with Luke Campbell. You know what I'm saying? Luke Campbell's a very good, competent fighter. I look forward to Ryan Garcia knocking his ass out and showing people who Ryan Garcia really is. He should make a statement. And it's strange because a lot of people will say, Ryan Garcia knocking out Luke Campbell, but you not saying Gervonta Davis would knock out Leo Santa Cruz? Leo Santa Cruz proven. He's a top tier fighter and he's got very good defense. Whereas I don't see, this is my personal opinion, you don't have to agree with me, I don't see Luke Campbell on that level of Leo Santa Cruz. I just said that. The southpaw. The guy who is good on the inside and working body shots. Luke Campbell. And he's a strong guy too. But I still don't see Luke Campbell on the level of a Leo Santa Cruz. I said it. He looks basic. Leo looks basic. But looks are deceiving. He's fundamentally sound. Now, Coach Eric Bradley believes that Gervonta Tank Davis is going to knock out Leo Santa Cruz. And I value Coach Eric Bradley's assessment of things. He talking about the hot sauce. But Teofimo Lopez didn't knock out Lomachenko, right? And Gervonta technically did not knock out Yorkis Gamboa. Gamboa still could have gone. And he protested with the ref after he was dropped in the 12th, if y'all guys remember. Gamboa would have gone the whole route, and Gervonta would not have stopped him. Did it really matter? Not really. He got stopped. I mean, he was getting beat up anyway. But the point is, if he could knock out Gamboa, and Gamboa gets dropped in every single fight, and he's been stopped, right? But every time Gamboa's been stopped, he always get back up. Gamboa always get better. Even with the Terrence Crawford fight, he got back up. A lot of people don't realize this. You got to look at the fighters and what's really going on. Yeah, the fight was lopsided, but fucking Gamboa gets back up. All right? Sorry about the F-bombs, people. Tonight's kind of unedited. My point anyway is this. Leo Santa Cruz is a solid fighter. And he going to give Tank a run for his money. And if Tank is not up to the challenge, I'm telling you, everybody's thinking that Tank's just going to wash Leo, okay? It's like, 1, 2 o'clock in the morning? I just got to drink some water. I just don't see Tank washing Leo like you guys see. I think he's just too solid. I think he's too fundamentally solid for Tank to knock him out. Leo's got to make a mistake to have Tank knock him out. He's got to cooperate with Tank to knock him out. Like I said before, Tank deals with timing and speed. That's what Tank used to light you up. He's a nice, strong, compact fighter, so that helps a lot. He leads sometimes and he reaches sometimes with his shots, but he's quick, right? And Tank, his major weapon is his left hand. He used the right hook too, but major weapon is left. Now the thing about Tank is, like I said before, his timing, and sometimes he bulldozes through a fighter, but he gonna have to use tricks. He's gonna have to use tricks to create those spaces to get Leo out of position. He's gonna have to use footwork, and I think he's gonna have to go the pace of the fight. And I can guarantee you, Floyd is nervous about that fight. You know, Floyd is nervous about that fight. For once, Floyd is actually nervous about that fight. So, because Leo's ready. Leo's really ready. And Leo's way humble. So that if he gets blasted out of there, you know, everybody say, "Oh, Tank blast Leo out of there." Well, Leo don't mind. Leo was humble. Leo didn't talk a big fight, none of that. You know what I mean? But I'm gonna tell you guys something, man. I'm gonna tell you guys something. Let me put this button here. I'm gonna tell you guys something, man. Hey, I'm gonna tell you guys something, man. If them old guys try to mess with them young dogs, man, I'm gonna have playing this funeral song for them. You know what I'm saying? They gonna get iced. You know what I mean? That's all I gotta say, man. I'm gonna catch you guys later. I'm what you need. Have a good one.